Hello and welcome to Theta Sigma's Doctor Who podcast number 15. In this week's show we take a look at one of the Doctor Who villains who has transcended the classic and revived series. A creature that underwent such a change from the old to the new that, only in my humble opinion you understand, it became unrecognisable from its original form and latterly its original character as well. Who, or rather what, am I talking about?
We are the superior race. We are Silurians.
The species first appeared in Doctor Who in the 1970 serial Doctor Who and the Silurians, and were created by Malcolm Hulke. The first Silurians introduced are depicted as prehistoric and scientifically advanced sentient humanoids who predate the dawn of man. In their backstory, the Silurians went into self-induced hibernation to survive what they predicted to be a large geological upheaval caused by the Earth capturing the Moon. In Doctor Who and the Silurians, a group of Silurians are awakened from hibernation by the energy from a nearby nuclear power research centre. The Doctor initially manages to negotiate an honourable compromise with the colony's leader. However, the colony's leader was assassinated by his own son, who was intent on a far more aggressive policy. To that end, the Silurians then attempted to reclaim the planet from humanity by releasing a deadly virus and attempting to disperse the Van Allen radiation belt. Both plans were thwarted by the Third Doctor, who was at that time stranded on Earth. Despite the Doctor's best efforts to broker a peaceful solution, the Silurians are still determined to exterminate humanity, only to have their base destroyed by UNIT on the orders of Brigadier Lethbridge Stewart to preempt this open threat. It was later revealed, however, that there were many colonies still in hibernation around the world. The Silurians next appeared together with the Sea Devils in Warriors of the Deep, where they attempted again to reclaim the Earth from the humans. The Sea Devils in this episode were described as being elite warriors. They sported bulletproof samurai-style armour. The Fifth Doctor tries in vain to prevent any bloodshed against either species, telling companions Tegan and Turlough to give the Silurians oxygen to keep them safe from the hexachromide gas he has released into the base's atmosphere. The last surviving Silurian in the episode, however, is killed by Turlough, leaving the Doctor somewhat despondent. In the two-part story The Hungry Earth and Cold Blood, the Silurians are awoken in 2020 by an underground drilling operation. These Silurians lack the third eye of the original Silurians and also wear masks. As I mentioned at the top of the show, this transformation of these classic creatures was such that they were unrecognisable from the original Silurians of the classic series, physically speaking at least. And with the continuing story of the Paternoster gang including Madame Vastra and Strax, Stephen Moffat has ridiculed both of these two well-loved Doctor Who aliens way too far in this long-term fan's opinion, but that's a topic for another podcast. Having misinterpreted the drilling program as a deliberate attack on their race, the Silurians take hostages, including the 11th Doctor's companion Amy Pond. The Doctor's attempts at a peaceful negotiation between the humans and Silurians is ruined when Alea, a war-hungry Silurian warrior, provokes a panicked human mother into killing her. Silurian leader Eldane recognises that humans and Silurians have the potential to reach some common ground in the future, and allows the Doctor and some of his allies to depart, leaving behind two humans to act as ambassadors to the human race when the Silurians reawaken in 1,000 years' time. In the Pandorica Opens, some Silurians appear in 102 AD, alongside various alien enemies of the Doctor, to imprison him in the mythical Pandorica, in order, as they see it, to save the universe from him. Another Silurian called Vastra appears in A Good Man Goes to War. Exposition reveals that she encountered the Doctor, having escaped to the Victorian-era London Underground, and went on to become a detective with a human companion and to kill Jack the Ripper. Once again, for me, a ridiculous departure from the original Silurians. The Doctor calls on her to go to war alongside him when Amy is abducted. In other appearances, the Silurians are mentioned in the 2011 Torchwood Miracle Day episode The Bloodline. Captain Jack briefly muses that the blessing could be out of Silurian mythology. A Silurian Doctor is seen attending to Winston Churchill in the wedding of River Song in an aborted timeline. Yet another Silurian in Dinosaurs on a Spaceship is seen briefly on a computer screen. The spaceship is a Silurian one, searching for a new planet with a cargo of dinosaurs, the Silurian colony itself on board having been ejected from the ship by Solomon prior to the episode. The ship is shown to have reached a planet named Siluria, with its dinosaurs at the episode's conclusion. Vastra appears once again in The Snowmen, a Christmas special set in London in 1892, and then again in The Crimson Horror set in Yorkshire in 1893. In The Crimson Horror, she claims to be 65 million years old.
None of the other Silurian clan survived. We are the only ones left.
Most Doctor Who novels try to clarify facts or expand on plot points from earlier episodes, often taking place in between episodes of the classic TV series. Many of the original Silurian stories were novelised. Terence Dick's adaptation of Warriors of the Deep, for example, clarified that Silurian Iktar was a survivor of the Doctor Who and Silurians encounter. The novelisation of Doctor Who and the Silurians adds a prologue which features the beginning of the Silurians' hibernation. The 1996 novel Scales of Injustice by Gary Russell was written to explain a previous encounter with the Doctor alluded to by the Silurians in Warriors of the Deep. In the 7th Doctor Virgin New Adventures novel Bloodheat, Silurians of an alternate reality have conquered the Earth after the 3rd Doctor was killed in their initial appearance. The Silurians have also made many minor appearances in the Virgin New Adventures series of novels. By the 26th century, the term Earth Reptile has become popularly used to describe the Silurians, following their peaceful integration with human society, such as in the novel Eternity Weeps. A Silurian short story, Cold War, also features in the anthology short trips Steel Skies.
You will tell us about the 8 creatures. You will tell us about their weapons and their technology. And then, armed with that knowledge, we shall exterminate them.
The Silurians also make a number of appearances in the comic books. In the Doctor Who magazine comic strip cycle, The Cybermen discover Silurians and Sea Devils living on their own planet, Mondus, during an unspecified time in the past. In the TV show, of course, Mondus is Earth's former twin planet. The strip also plays Golgoth, a primordial humanoid reptile god figure who resembles a sea devil and may have some link to the Silurians. In the story arc Final Genesis, an alternate universe is depicted where the Silurians have made peace with humanity and the two races live in harmony. Under these circumstances, UNIT is renamed United Races Intelligence Command. Comic book story Twilight of the Silurians is set during the species' last days before hibernation, where the Silurians observe their captive apes in their zoological research station. The comic book City of Devils features 2 Doctor Who companions. Journalists Sarah Jane Smith and K9 uncover a hidden city of Silurians in an Egyptian archaeological dig who seek peaceful coexistence with the humans.
So, if I can't command you, you will be destroyed.
The Silurians also feature in several Big Finish audio productions. In Blood Tide, the 6th Doctor intervenes when Charles Darwin and the HMS Beagle expedition encounter a rogue Silurian group on the Galapagos Islands. This audio drama reveals that the leader of this group had been responsible for creating humanity's prehistorical ancestors via a forbidden breeding program, sabotaging the Silurian stasis chambers to escape punishment for his actions. In Unit The Coup, the Silurians attempt to finally make peace with humanity, although the general public believes it to be a stunt involving men in rubber suits. In Unit The Wasting, the Silurians aid UNIT in finding a cure for a deadly plague. And that's all we have time for this week. In next week's show we continue our monthly look at the Doctors and the actors who've played them, with a close look at 5th Doctor Peter Davison. And we'll also be having a short featurette on Richard Hurndall, the actor who played the 1st Doctor in the 20th anniversary special The 5 Doctors. So until next time, take care of yourselves, and...
Well, goodbye, my boy. You did quite well. Quite well. It's reassuring to know that my future is in safe hands.
Thank you for listening to Theta Sigma's Doctor Who podcast. Doctor Who and its associated shows are all copyright and property of the BBC, and no infringement is intended.